Welcome to the information war. Yeah, one thing that I find very interesting about this Iran war that we are now 3 weeks into, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is it's not just the physical aspect, right? It's not just us launching missiles, the enemy launching missiles, the death, right? It's not just the violence. A big part of this war in modern times is this misinformation campaign that's on all sides. It's on our side. It's on Iran's side. It's on Israel's side. We don't know what the truth is, which is crazy, right? This is crazy. This is unprecedented territory. You know what I mean? So we got, Iran saying they unalive Netanyahu. We got Israel denying it. They're coming out with these videos trying to convince us that Netanyahu is still alive. So let's take a look at this video, right? Let's take a look at this video. Apparently he's getting some coffee. Let's take a look.
מה שאלת אותי?
ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת?
אני מת על קפה, אני מת על העם שלי.
What I love, hold on. I love when you're watching a foreign video, right? Like a video from a different country, and the subtitles, the captions, are in the same language that the video is in. Like, thanks for nothing. This means nothing to me. This means that this is gibberish to me. This might as well be Greek. Okay, I know what it is. I know it's Hebrew. I'm not stupid. But, I mean, this is just something funny that I've noticed with a lot of videos, from foreign countries. Anyway, let's go. We see he's got this coffee in his hand, right? He's got this coffee. Let's take a look at this coffee, right? So we're going to go back. So he's picking up the coffee. So the coffee's on the counter. So let's go. Let's play it back here.
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על
Picking
העם
the
שלי.
coffee up. Now it looks like you'd think from this angle the coffee would be spilling, right? You'd think that the coffee right here would be spilling, but it's not. This is like Jello coffee. This is coffee that breaks the laws of physics. Look at that. Look at how that coffee is pouring over, but not pouring over at all. It's amazing. This Israeli coffee, I gotta try this Israeli coffee, right? This is magical coffee, blessed by Yahweh, right? This is blessed by Yahweh coffee. All right, let's keep going.
נהגים, פנטסטי.
I mean, look at this. This guy does not know how to hold coffee. I criticize Netanyahu about everything you want, love him or hate him. This guy does not know how to hold the coffee. All right, let's keep going.
אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
Okay, so he's showing he has 5 fingers. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can count them. Now, these fingers do look a little weird, I'll be honest with you. And keep in mind, this hand is his left hand, right? So this is where his wedding ring will be. Now, it looks like it's the shape of a wedding ring, but it's kind of blurry. Okay, so we see the wedding ring there. We'll give him the wedding ring. Okay, so now we got the other hand, right? Whatever. Okay, now the face does look weird, right? I'm not the only one who feels like the face is a little weird here. It just looks a little cartoonish. The hair is super contrasted. I understand he's old, he has white hair. Skin looks a bit waxy, right? It looks like a wax figure, even though his fingers are super wrinkly fingers. But look at this face. This face looks like it was it's a 5-year-old face. It's very smooth. Very interesting. All right, let's keep going. All right, so drink the coffee. Cheers. Looks like he had a good, a couple good sips there, right? Couple, maybe 2 good sips. Doesn't really. Oh, yeah, we skipped a scene. That was weird. But yeah, it doesn't look like any coffee has left the coffee cup. That's pretty interesting.
קצת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן.
Okay, so
והעמידה שלכם היא
again,
מדהימה,
I don't speak
נותנת
Hebrew.
כוח לי, לממשלה, לצה"ל, למוסד, אנחנו עושים דברים
Well, he said Mossad.
אני לא יכול
I heard
לשתף
Mossad. I understand Mossad.
ברגע זה, אבל עושים דברים מכים באיראן חזק מאוד, גם ביום הזה, גם בלבנון.
Sounds like he's kind of saying suck my dick. I don't know. This is kind of how I'm interpreting it.
ממשיכים. אתם אומרים לי להמשיך? אני אומר לכולכם, גם אתם תמשיכו. תמשיכו להישמע להוראות פיקוד העורף, כל הזמן, להישמע להוראות פיקוד העורף, וגם לראשי הערים, להיות תמיד ליד מרחב מוגן.
I mean, just look at this coffee. This coffee.
אנחנו נקל ככל שהדבר ניתן.
Like, okay, he's shaking it again. Now here's this. Look at this guy in the back with the glasses. You notice how he has the COVID mask on. Now last time I checked, it was the year 2026. I haven't really seen people wearing COVID masks, at least, you know, in public, at least regular people, at least in a few years, at least in a couple years, right? We can probably say it's been a couple years. Now I don't have the ability to zoom in on this right now. I mean, I probably do, but I'm lazy. But, you know, I've seen the pictures. I've seen people who have zoomed in. And on the date, it actually says 2024. So on here, it says 2 years ago. Now, I don't really think that matters because I think this whole thing is AI. But, you know, let's continue.
אני לא יודע לגבי הקלוריות, זה נראה לי מסוכן.
And look at the design. The design on the coffee with the creamer has gotten better. It's like a magical Hebrew design. Look at this magic. Look at this Kabbalah magic. The design has gotten better. He has drank the coffee a couple times, and the design has improved.
כאן מאוד. תודה. מה שאלת אותי?
ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת?
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
אתה יכול להראות לנו?
פה.
Find something here.
ראית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
ראש הממשלה מסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתאווררים?
לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן. והעמידה שלכם היא מדהימה, נותנת כוח לי, לממשלה.
Yeah, and the other problem too with the language is in AI videos, the words, like if you look at signs behind, you know, the people, if you pay attention to the words, the language doesn't make sense. But this isn't helping us here because, again, I don't speak Hebrew. I can't read Hebrew.
למוסד,
So,
אנחנו
you
עושים דברים...
know, for all I know,
אני לא יכול
this could
לשתף
mean something. I have no idea.
ברגע זה, אבל עושים דברים מכים באיראן חזק.
But yeah, like this guy, he doesn't have a mask on.
חזק מאוד, גם ביום הזה, גם בלבנון, ממשיכים. אתם אומרים לי להמשיך? אני אומר לכולכם,
And then,
גם אתם תמשיכו. תמשיכו להישמע להוראות פיקוד ביום הזה. ברגע זה, אבל עושים דברים מכים באיראן חזק מאוד, גם ביום הזה, גם בלבנון, ממשיכים. אתם אומרים לי להמשיך? אני אומר לכולכם.
And then this guy has a mask on. She doesn't have a mask on, right? She's fine. She's the one that's actually front-facing customers. She has no need for a mask. She's not worried about it.
גם אתם תמשיכו.
She's young though, right? She's got a good immune system. This other guy over here looks kind of, you know, he doesn't look super old. This guy is super old. We didn't even see him take a mask off when he came.
תמשיכו להישמע להוראות פיקוד העורף, כל הזמן, להישמע להוראות פיקוד העורף, וגם לראשי הערים, להיות תמיד ליד...
Also, out of my own curiosity, maybe somebody can enlighten me. You know, this is Israel, middle of the desert. I figured it'd be pretty hot year-round. This guy's wearing a coat. How cold... Fun fact, how cold is it in Tel Aviv currently? I don't know. You tell me.
מרחב מוגן. אנחנו נקל ככל...
Okay, so, you know, I guess my point is, what is really going on? Is Netanyahu alive? Is he not alive? And here's how just us wondering that works in the advantage of both sides. Now, why would Israel want you to think he's alive, right? Why would Israel want you to think he's alive? Well, they don't want anyone to know that they are weak right now. Obviously, if your leader is taken out, there's a lot of chaos in your government. There is no leadership. Everything is scattered. Nobody knows where to go. And this is a time of war. This is probably the most intense war that Israel has faced, or it's going to be if it hasn't been. I know there was a whole 6-day war, 7-day war, whatever in 1967. This is dealing with modern technology, modern missiles, drones. This is definitely going to be the most intense war that Israel has faced. So everybody has to be a bit creative, right? So why would Israel, so on the flip part, right? On the flip of that, we know why Israel wouldn't want people to know or think Netanyahu is no longer with us. Why would they want people to think he's no longer with us? Well, that can play to your strength as well, because if the world thinks your leader is gone, they're not going to continue searching for your leader to take him out. So it kind of goes both ways, right? And this is something we're seeing with Iran. Now, we think that the Ayatollah's son is the new Ayatollah, but Iran hasn't confirmed that. That's just what our intelligence is assuming, basically. We're just assuming that. We don't officially know, but if we think that's their leader and that's not their leader, that also plays to their advantage. So it's kind of like this, this misinformation can work on their behalf, on everyone's behalf who's using it. Now, unfortunately for us, for America, we kind of have idiots. We don't have the greatest masterminds in the world leading our misinformation campaign. So it really just does not sell well or come off well. So let's go ahead. Let's pull up our great genius mind, Pete Hegseth, and let's see what his big misinformation selling point is. Right. So let's do this one. I probably don't know how to spell it.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that. Now, there's a reason why we chose, as one of our primary objectives, destroy the Navy. We understood the ability to interdict shipping is something Iran has done for 40 years. It's key terrain. They've used it.
So let's play that back one more time. Let's play it back one more time.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that. Now,
right, it's open for transit, but Iran is shooting at all the ships. So oh man, it's like oh boy, these are what we have. We have, Israel gets masterminds leading their government. Iran even has some people that are moving in a mastermind 3D chess way. But us, this is what we have. It is, the Hormuz Strait is open. It's not physically closed. There's not some big wall stopping the water from flowing. This is who we have at our helm, right? But that's not it. What else we got here? What else we got? So recently Trump, he has been asking NATO to help with the Hormuz Strait. If I'm mispronouncing that, please tell me. I don't really know. I haven't thought about the Hormuz Strait my entire life. So
lose 45 pounds and become unrecognizable by summer.
On Monday, March 16th,
We're starting the chair Tai Chi
old
flow.
guys with six
disappear
packs
for a
and
month.
heads. Okay.
On Monday.
President Trump has, in the space of a few hours, twice urged countries, including the UK, to send warships to the key waterway of the Strait of Hormuz, which is being blocked to global shipping by Iran. Its foreign minister said the strait is military target Israel.
Do so
SS Tripoli are on their way to the Middle East, bringing thousands of Marines who could be used in a ground attack.
The BBC or your problem.
Higher heating.
At a meeting with ministers yesterday, fuel retailers insisted
ships to keep the Strait of Hormuz
Okay,
open.
well, this isn't what I'm looking for. Okay. Trump S allies.
Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated, their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. They've been a terror for 47 years, and now I guess the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, where the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones, and that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today. And it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half. That has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour. And as you know, we attacked Karg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice. It'll be over. Sure. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing.
Let's get the
but
weave going.
It may not stay that way.
Let's weave it
Just
back.
one simple word, and the pipes will be gone too. But it'll take a long time to rebuild that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero.
You know what I mean?
And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in.
I like how they're looking.
We don't know
at
that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. The countries, I said, we've already taken care of Iran, but now because of the fact that literally a single terrorist can put something in the water or shoot something or shoot a missile, a small missile, and it's fairly close range because it is a tight area, and which is one of the reasons they've always used that as a weapon. Iran has always used that as an economic weapon, and it's not going to be able to be used very long. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic.
Peter Piper's pepper picking proved
why are we doing commercials?
So he ordered the supplies he needed from Amazon Business.
The world is ending, and you got me watching this. I love late stage capitalism.
Amazon Business.
I love late stage capitalism. The world is ending, and I have to watch a commercial. What do you want me to buy? What do you want me to buy?
And the level of enthusiasm, it matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job.
Yeah, I miss first term.
Well, we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for your men, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor. Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left.
Biden
would rather not
bite him.
Get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that was said, because when
you turned him into an Alzheimer.
I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries, because I know that we'll protect them, and if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time, just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago, predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly, I wrote it in a book. You can even check. About a year before the World Trade Center came down, President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and
the book, The Tard of the Deal. Okay.
Didn't take it, unfortunately. I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage other nations.
Side note, you know who also seems like they predicted the fall of the World Trade Center? His boy Howard Lutnick. Who notoriously never missed a day of work in his office in the World Trade Center, that day had to take his son to school. I don't know why he didn't have to take his son to school any other day. I don't know. Obviously a very wealthy man. I'm assuming they had some kind of situation where they had a driver, a nanny, something. But that day, I guess that specific day, he really had to take his son to school. Very interesting.
Whose economies depend on the Strait for blood. I mean, these people literally need it. 95% of their energy or their oil comes out of the Strait, and they should be in here very happily helping us. And it's incredible. We have we're number one in oil by double now. We drill, baby, drill. We're double any other nation, and it's going to be soon triple any other nation. And that doesn't include Venezuela, who's been great. By the way, the relationship with Venezuela has been fantastic.
Oh my God, I love this guy. You gotta love Trump. He's just, someone can go from our mortal enemy, and the next day, I love this guy. I love them. They're great. I love them. Great relationship. One thing I am curious about, and it's I know it's all fun and laughs right now, but we did become notoriously, right, the world's biggest exporter of oil. So, and again, I support that. I think that our country needs to be as energy independent, as manufacturing independent as possible, right? And these are, kind of the moves from the first Trump administration that I supported, continuing on through the Biden administration, because a lot of you guys who hate on Biden, no matter what he did actually continue a lot of the Trump policies. So you should give him credit for that, just like I will give Trump credit for some of this stuff, right? But my question is, what is the benefit for Americans, right? This is our oil. This is coming from our country. So what is the appeal when you're telling us, hey, American people, we're going to dig in the ground, we're going to get more oil, we're going to export more oil, we're going to be the world's biggest exporter of oil. Great, sounds cool. But where's the benefit for us, right? You'd think it might be similar to how the Middle Eastern countries do for their citizens, where in some Middle Eastern countries, the gas is just free because they sell so much oil. They look at the world as their consumers, and they treat their citizens like they are shareholders of that oil. It's kind of nationalized, if you will. It's treated like a product of the people. That is our oil. That oil comes from our land. It belongs to all Americans. Therefore, Americans should be able to reap the benefit of selling that oil, not just oil executives, shareholders, so on and so forth. That oil belongs to us. And kind of, I feel like Trump could be convinced of this. I feel like we got to get Mom Donnie over there, his best buddy. Hey, Mom Donnie, convince Trump of the benefits of nationalizing our oil. That would be a great thing. Now, it would be a hard sell, for the fact that he just took out Maduro, who notoriously had he wasn't the one who nationalized the oil, really. Hugo Chavez was, but blah, blah, blah. He was continuing the tradition. So it would be a weird sell, but Trump has moved his opinion and position many, many times. So I don't know if it would be that hard of a sell. Anyway, let's continue.
Literally millions of barrels of oil are being taken out, and it's been a great help, and it's been to their great benefit. The president has done a really good job. We get along with him really well. But we've taken out millions of barrels of oil and brought to Houston and other places to the refineries. We have refineries set up specifically for that. And it's been a great relationship, and more and more is happening. It's a tremendous oil source, and we're stepping it up very rapidly. The big companies are going in, and they will actually, numbers in a pretty short period of time, numbers that they've never been able to do, we'll be doing. There's a lot of oil under that land. We strongly encourage the other nations to get involved with us and get involved quickly and with great enthusiasm. I have that from a number of them, and I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted. But I say, wouldn't matter if you're targeted or not, because this is a paper tiger that we're dealing with now. It wasn't a paper tiger 2 weeks ago. It's a paper tiger now.
Now we're getting back to Iran. That wasn't even. It didn't even have the part that I wanted him to talk about. You mother son of a fart. Give me a short. Maybe we can have.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? How many people? Where you?
It's interesting that you people.
Sir, can we ask you America first or Israel first?
Israel first.
Israel first?
Yes.
Before America?
No, of course not.
In other news, President Trump's aims of
KTLA's Lindsay Pena is live in the news center with the latest developments tonight. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Karine and Rick. A critical hub of the
situation in Iran is going very well. A lot of big hits today, a lot of big wins today, as you probably have heard militarily. And I think it's going very well. And very good control. We'll see what's happening with the Straits. They continue to try and sabotage their own country in the Middle East, but it's been very, very strong militarily.
President Trump insists the U.S.-Israel joint military campaign is ahead of schedule, but Iran's drone capabilities remain intact. Iran is now urging civilians to evacuate the UAE as it prepares to target cities there. Iran is warning it will strike U.S.-linked oil facilities across the region if its own energy infrastructure is touched. The Pentagon says more than 15,000 targets have been hit since the war started. Trump.
And this is kind of what I'm talking about with Iran. They clearly are a tougher adversary than we expected and a more intelligent adversary than we expected. I think the whole, they're a Muslim theocracy, these are cave people, they don't know what they're doing, I don't know how their society is and just crumbling from beneath them. That's what we all expected. We expected, forget Iraq, we expected this to be as easy as Afghanistan. Afghanistan was nothing. Iraq was a little tougher, but even that, I mean, we had their government decimated within like a week. We were just there for so long because we were trying to rebuild their nation and create a government for them. That's really the reason why we were there so long. We actually had their government completely decimated within like a week. So that actually went by pretty quickly. We are still actively at war. This is still ongoing. This is still an ongoing situation. And they have drone technology. They have access to the internet and informational campaigns. And they understand here this part of this information, this information, misinformation, using information as a tool of war. Where Iran is smart is they understand from both Israel's standpoint and America with our democracies, which that's a separate conversation, that if the people do not support the war and the people of these countries become angry enough at those in power, it will create so much pressure for those in power that they will have to back off or just, have a lot more roadblocks to get through. We're being a theocracy. It doesn't matter what their people think for the most part until their people outnumber them. Different conversation with Iran, whatever. But, our economy has been suffering for a long time. I'm not going to, do the thing where I'm just blaming that on Trump, just blaming that on Biden. This has been something that we've been getting to for a while with how much wealth has gone to the top 1% and how the working class can barely afford to live. You can't blame just one president on that. This has been in the making since the 1970s. Since Nixon, the pieces of where we're at now have been laid. Corporations have been deregulated. Banks have been deregulated. Companies have been deunionized. Workers have been separated from each other. So there is no mechanism in place like there used to be to keep worker pay close as possible to CEO pay. That gap has just widened and widened and widened, and now they're going to replace all you fucks with AI. So you're not going to have any income, and they are going to continue selling AI or just using the investments they get from shareholders to make their money, to get by. They don't need you anymore. And we've allowed this to happen. Anyway, separate conversation. We are in a bad economic place. The approval for war among Americans was already low post-Iraq, post-George Bush, post-Obama. This was a key reason why Trump, was elected in 2016. He was the anti-war candidate. Remember that? Those were good times, good times, good times. So Americans do not want war again. And with Americans dying, which we already know there's been a few, how many have there actually been is the question. Iran is claiming it's a lot more. America is claiming it's a lot less. Same thing is going on with Israel. Iran is claiming, and they show videos of Tel Aviv being bombarded. Israel is saying, we haven't actually been attacked that bad. So nobody knows what is actually going on right now. What is the reality? What is the truth? And that's what makes this war so much different than the previous ones, because with the internet, with social media, and now with AI, we really do not know. What I fear for, what really is terrifying to think about, is if there are American servicemen who have been unalived, and our government is just not telling their families because they don't want people to know things are as bad as they are. That is really horrifying to me. I can't imagine being a family member of one of those servicemen and not knowing what's going on. That is absolutely terrible and horrendous. Again, I have no evidence right now that that's the case, but just thinking about it is terrible. I do know that with all the embassies and bases all through the Middle East that Iran attacked and bombed, you're not going to convince me that those were all empty when that happened. So I don't buy that. I think there's definitely more than are being reported, but I guess we'll just have to hold off until more evidence comes through. But yeah, it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time. Each country using AI and misinformation and social media to not necessarily physically harm the other one, but use each other's civilians against them. Hey, America, we're going to cause your oil prices to go up. We're going to cause the cost of your groceries and your goods to go up because we're not going to let goods through the Hormuz Strait. We're letting you know, Americans, that that's what's going to happen because Iran knows how unpopular this conflict is with us. So they're doing that to turn us against the president, against our government, which a lot of us already are, but it's only going to turn that up a few notches. Then you have the Israel thing. Hey, Israel, this is what we're claiming we've done to your leadership. This is what we've done to your government. And, the people of Israel may not know the full truth. Obviously, Israel is a lot smaller of a country than America is. But it's just this misinformation campaign from all sides. Again, coming from our side, we're not that good at the game. So it's, hey, the Hormuz Strait is great. It's open. Iran has been defeated. So the only, you just have to worry about those drone attacks. But that's no big deal. Come on through the Hormuz Strait. Come on down, everybody. Come on down to the Hormuz Strait. It's a great time. Bring your family. Bring your friends. Great evening, great family affair at the Hormuz Strait.